Hey, what's up, guys? So, I really hope you're having a blessed day. And this is the first video out of these other 5 weeks, I believe, that we are going to be talking about my autism throughout the years and everything, or basically me growing out of autism. But before we get too detailed into this, make sure you go like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and make sure you hit that bell so that way you'll be notified for my next videos. Anyways, let's get started. So before we begin, I just want to go ahead and let you know a couple things. So first of all, we are going to split the videos up into about 5 weeks, like I said. So it's going to start from today up until around November 9th. And then the playlist is going to come out on the 16th saying Growing Out of Autism. That's what it'll say. So this all began when I was about 18 months. I was going for my 18-month checkup, and we went to the doctors and everything. They done my checkup and everything. They found out that I had autism. The fact my parents knew before the checkup, they knew something was off. And they're like, every time my mom tried to talk to me, I wasn't looking. Or every time my dad tried to talk to me, I wasn't looking. And they were just confused, but they just went to the 18-month checkup thing, and the doctor said there was already something wrong, and my parents were confused, and mom was over there like, what? Like, is this what he's having? Or stuff like that. And then my dad was over there like having thoughts about the future with his son, and he's over there saying or thinking, maybe said, and he's over there thinking like, will he ever throw a football? And mom would be like, will he ever say I love you? Stuff like that. And they done checked me up and everything, and this is what they had to deal with. So when I was around 18 months and after, they knew I had autism. But then at 2 years old, we went to a little vacation at the beach, and I was kind of playing with the sand as if it was like sensory to me, because just kind of like pick up the sand and just do it like that. Sometimes I'll eat the sand, even though, which is probably like every toddler or baby, do, because they don't know better and everything. So, because they're developmentally growing up, and physically too. Because at this age, like, they don't know. I think they already know from right from wrong if I was neurotypical or stuff like that. But since I was neurodivergent at the time, I didn't know from right from wrong, or barely knew. When I was about 2 years old, we took a vacation to a little beach called Tybee Island. Every time we go near the ocean or right by the ocean, I would just kind of play with the sand and everything to make it like sensory, stuff like that. And then I'll eat the sand. And let me just tell you something. That's what every toddler or baby does. Because, they can just kind of eat the sand. Because they think it's, I don't know, they just probably think it's edible. But I just thought it was sensory to me. And so I've done sensorily ate the sand. And and then I was like, no. And mom was like, no, we don't eat sand. Or maybe that's how she said it. I remember, like, she had her hand, or I don't know. I ain't gonna show you because it's not disgusting. It's just not cool to show you guys that. So, but yeah, I think she has a video of me doing that somewhere around, though. I don't know where it was or where it is. I just remember just kind of like mom just like kind of like taking like, I just taking a sand away from my mouth because I don't know. But then I cried because, or I think I cried after that because I thought it was Century, and your boy Josh loved the Century and everything, and that's what I did at the time. There would be times where I put about 4 pacifiers in my mouth and just kind of like that because it was Century. Like, it was a Century thing. It was, kind of, refreshing me from the stuff and everything. Even when I was so young. But yeah, I just feel like that right there is just Century. Or rather, self-regulating. But by the time I was 2, also then, we would go to this Greenville pediatrician. When I was 2, we went to a pediatrician in Greenville, and then the doctor said there that I would be nonverbal for the rest of my life. And then all my parents were like, "Oh, I rebuke that in the name of Jesus. We don't believe in that stuff." And then my mama prayed and prayed and prayed until I could speak in anything. I think it was also around that time where we went to this aquarium. I don't know if it was in Atlanta or Greenville, because sometimes we would take like trips to Atlanta. I think I probably don't remember that, but yeah, we went to the Greenville or Atlanta aquarium, I think, and we were passing by the fishes and everything, and then I was wanting to go because they had a little tube or indoor tube where little kids crawl under through. I was in there, and then it was kind of like sensory to me to see like all the water, like I'm literally surrounded by water, and all the little fishes were like swimming, like, and I felt like I was like under the water, like under the sea and everything. And it just kind of felt self-regulating, and it's just so sensory to my eyes and the mental area too. So yeah, it was a fun place for me. I remember that, and I remember walking, but I was also looking. I was so fascinated with like lights in the ceiling and everything. So I was fascinated with that too. I kind of used to be scared of it at first, but then I probably got used to it not being so scared of it. But yeah, it was very fun for me though. Just kind of like being under there. I think I was like 2 or 3. I don't really remember the age I was though. So apparently my mom enrolled me into the school not long after that. So this had been around 3. So I was 3 going to a SPED classroom, and which they call the developmental delay classroom, which is that. And while I was there, I literally could not keep still. Like, when it was time to like read a book, for example, I couldn't keep still. I was running around the classroom flapping my hands, and I'll make this repetitive noise, and it will go like this. So I was running around the classroom and doing this, and you're gonna hear the repetitive voice. That was a repetitive voice, like I said. So yeah, I was running around the classroom doing that, and the teacher just was so fed up with it. They called my mom, and then my mom picked me up, and then we just headed back home because I couldn't keep still and nothing like that. And apparently, I was doing that for a year. So I don't know what happened to me at the time. I just have no idea why. Not all the time where people is gonna find it sensory, because there's gonna be some people out there that it's just gonna find it really annoying for them, like the neurotypicals or the people that don't have autism. They're just gonna be really annoyed by the sensory, and if they don't know any better, they're just gonna tell the autistic individual to shut up. I'm like, the autistic individual probably does not know better how to stop the sensory thing, or the sensory that they're doing, however. And each and every autistic individual will, they have all kinds of different sensory voices or sensory stuff they do. because not all the time they'll be like because some even may hum. They'll be like mm, yeah, there's gonna be some people who are like that, apparently. And being for real, I had a sibling that was just annoyed by it. And the sibling just gonna have to understand that there's some autistic people that just can't help with their noises. Like they just make that noise because it's sensory to them. When I was still nonverbal, the teacher picked me up and put me where I was supposed to play with. And I'm like, teacher, mentally, but I wasn't mentally saying it. I was mentally saying, like, no, I want to go there. And the teacher was like, no, you stay right here. And I literally didn't know better, be honest. I just didn't know better at 3 years old. Because I really wouldn't say anything yet. And then I just wanted to play with the cars and everything, but they basically, like, I don't know what I was playing with. When I was 3 years old going to the primary school, I was playing with my cars, right? And the teacher moved me over to where I should play with and everything. And I'm like, mentally, because I wasn't speaking yet, I'm like, why is she putting me here? Like, why did this lady put me here? That's what I was mentally saying. And I'm like, okay. So I just moved back there, not without the teacher knowing, or I don't know, trying to be slick, not being aware of the teacher just looking at me or whatnot, or what. And so I went back there, the teacher put me back there again. And I think that happened twice. Where the teacher had to pick me up and then put me back there where I should be. But honestly, I didn't know why she'd done that. I think she just done that, to be honest. Now, I don't know how you did not find this, but I kind of find out that rolling around the classroom was censored to me. And let me just tell you why. I used to like roll around the classroom all the time. It was just censored to me. But I remember one time being left in the classroom where it was just pitch black. Like 3-year-old Josh didn't even know better. I think he was 3 or 4. I think he was 4 at the time, but still, I just didn't know better. So like, and I was up here like, where's all my peers at? And just fully being unaware of my surroundings. Like, I was over here like, did my classroom just left me behind, or I should have just went with them? And 3-year-old Josh was just kind of scared and everything, so I just kind of looked around and see if he was aware and everything. And I just can't recall what happened after that. All I just said is, or basically I said, now, I vaguely remember going there the first year, but I think I remembered or recalled a lot more the second year I was there. But however, I had to leave the second year because of my autism, apparently. It was from, like, not me following directions. Now, I went to a general education class at one time when I was there. But still, I was running around the classroom and everything, and then just flapping my hands like I did at the other class. And then I went to but then I came to sit down finally for once, and then we were reading. I remember we were reading about Pete the Cat, and that just kind of did interest in me a little bit. So we were reading about Pete the Cat, and one time I remember just kind of like dancing with the G-Jerk and everything. Like, I remembered counting to 100 and everything, because the teacher would, like, turn on the thing and then would just count to 100. That kind of got me, like, regulated and stuff like that. So I mean, I guess that was kind of good, thanks to the teacher. However, not long after that, we did leave the school and then went to a little ABA thing. Now, in my next video, I'm going to talk more about the ABA thing and all the other things and stuff like that. But while I was at the other school, I had a little chew toy where I would bite into, because like I said earlier in this video, I said I always wanted something in my mouth because of a sensory. Well, a chew toy was one of them. So I was constantly having the chew toy and everything, and I was biting it down, just like if I was like overwhelmed or something, or overthinking, or the autistic thoughts that come to your head, I would just kind of like chew on the chew toy and then just let that, because at the time I didn't know how to express my emotions, because at that time every time I wanted like a cookie, I would always point to the cookie instead of saying, "Hey mom, can I have a cookie?" I would like bring mom to the cabinet and then point at the cookie, and then she'll give it to me. That's how it was back in the day. So one time I was running around my diapers, or with my diapers on rather. My mom was cleaning all the places where I smeared, and I was running around with my diapers doing another one, and I literally just stressed mom out. And I remember the fact that I was doing it, and mom was being severely pissed, and then she understood what I was doing and everything, and well, she didn't really, but she did, and then she understood that was gross and everything. So therefore, I'm like, oh my goodness, I know how pissed my brother used to be whenever I do stuff like that, or even show a symptom of autism. And then my brother, because my brother, he just kind of like wasn't interested in the autism, but he still loved me regardless. But he didn't care for the autism that I had, and I'm like, yeah, of course my brother wouldn't like the autism, but now he says that he's concerned for me because he still thinks I'm struggling with autism. But recently I've gotten better at my social skills, and I'm going to talk to you later in my next few videos. That's where I'm going to talk about it and everything. But this is when I'm 4 to 18 months, or 18 months to 4 years old, rather. So I'm running around doing that, making extra work for mom, and I'm like, nah, this is really not a good idea. Another time I flooded the bathroom with my toys, so I was basically shoving all my toys in the toilet, and basically I was just doing that, and I just came and opened the door, and the water just went everywhere and everything, and my parents saw what I'd done, and they were like, and they had to clean up and everything, the toilet, everything, and stuff like that. Now, I remember doing that with the sink too. Like, I'll purposely turn on the sink water and then flood the bathroom till it's completely flooded, and that just got my parents really pissed too, because he saw the water under the door thing, because there's this little cut under the door where you can see through it, and they seen water all over it, or water coming from the bathroom. They opened the door and they found out that it was me flooding the bathroom with the sink and the toilet. So, didn't mean to go off topic. Yes, we'll do the next video for the ABA video, but yes, also at this age, also transferred to ABA basically. So, but we're going to talk most about it in the next video, and all the next video is going to be about ABA and what happened there and stuff like that. There's a lot of things I couldn't recall, and there's a lot of things I did, but still, I mostly went to ABA when I was probably about 5 and stuff like that. And also made videos. I also made a little video there too. I might have to reopen my computer and everything and stuff like that. I think there were pictures of me there, my therapist there too. So yeah. And this wraps it up for the first video in the first 2.5 years with my autism and stuff like that. So if you like this video, please subscribe, turn on notifications so that way you subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm out. And verbally express my feelings.